Hi, it's Saturday, May 17, 2025, 8:55 a.m. Japan time. Today, I want to talk about a few things, including the recent Moody's downgrade of US Treasuries and what I found in the IMF Global Financial Stability Report yesterday. From there, I'll share some thoughts on potential risk scenario going forward. First of all, even though this Moody's downgrade news made headlines, I still personally believe the market is a risk-on phase. Some people on X were talking about being a Black Monday type of event, but I don't think it's that level yet. We already had a reset around April 3rd with volatility spiking. It's too early for another shock so soon. And there's not enough build up or exhaustion yet, but still, this is an important risk factor we should review. Now, the key message from the IMF report was about the hidden exposure banks have through their lending to non-bank financial institutions. It warned that global systemically important banks or too big to fail banks are effectively bearing about 49% of total financial system risk through this exposure. There's the data. One, these big banks are estimated to have lent about $1 trillion to non-banks. Two, their total assets are around 4.2 trillion, so that loan exposure is 7%. But here's the critical part. Their equity capital ratio just 8% or 11%, 12%, meaning if the $1 trillion goes bad, most of their equity would be wiped out. That's why, even though the 1 trillion figure seems small on the surface, it could actually collapse a major bank if something goes wrong. Now, where does this risk sit? Some of those non-banks may be on the selling side of CDS or option trades, even if just 5 or 10% of their exposure is tied to such instruments, and if those positions go 20x against them, as happened in the Lehman crisis, that could really scale up to $1 trillion in total loss. Also, the timing matters. Many of these non-bank loans need to be refinanced in 2025, which is tricky because interest rates are high right now. This is where the Moody's downgrade comes in, not as a direct trigger, but as a jab that wakes confidence just before a real crisis. So, if refinancing fails and these non-bank exposures start to default, can the US government even step in to help? We're considering how stretched the fiscal balance is post-COVID and post-inflation. Maybe not. And so these too big to fail banks might become too big to save. And Lehman Brothers had about $613 billion in debt. Here's we talking about the potential $1 trillion fireball, nearly twice as large. So I think the IMF is raising a scenario alarm, CS alarm with this. And the Moody's downgrade could be a early warning signal. It's not the crash, but it's the shadow of one. Now, my base case hasn't changed. I still expect a rally into the June major SQ and possibly hitting a new high. If the Moody's downgrade leads to a temporary weakness, it may actually be a good call option to opportunity. But after the high, we need to watch closely because flash flows and non-bank financing risk and crash in big banks could bring a much deeper shock. That's it for today. If you like this episode, I'd really appreciate a follow. Think of it as a long call on my this podcast. See you tomorrow.